Hello, and welcome back to the Law of Attraction Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Keith. Okay, imagine graduating college with $100,000 in debt and then realizing a chatbot or some form of AI just replaced your job before ever getting your first paycheck. Okay, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because my daughter is starting dual enrollment, and I'm going to explain kind of the process of what we experienced over the past few weeks. But I think this applies to the whole world, right? Like, especially kids going into college or that are in high school, any kids, any age, because this is the whole future, but also for all of us to kind of understand what's coming with the advancement of AI and technology so that we can understand and be prepared, and look at the opportunities of it. Okay, so you can either get like completely, sideswiped later on, or you can get ahead of it and kind of see where the trend is going and what's likely to occur, and kind of correct your path a little bit. So, I think that this is going to be a really exciting time. It already is. You guys know I love talking about AI. I have my own AI manifestation coach called Nova and another one called Quantum Mentor. Um, it's fascinating, and I think it's going to help the world in so many incredible ways. But it is changing the world kind of like electricity changed the world. There are going to be a lot of things that are going to be obsolete because of it, but a lot of advancements that are going to be made because of it. So, regardless of whether you have kids or not, whether you're dealing with a high school, college student or not, whether you're in the workforce or not, I think this message applies to everyone. And we're going to tie it all in, but I want to start with talking about college and the fact that these kids are getting no guidance whatsoever. So that if you are a parent or you're an aunt or an uncle, or you are whatever, like you have a sister or someone that is young and going to be going to college or figuring out their career path, I just want to make it clear that everybody knows these kids are not getting guidance. It's really bad. If your child is someone that's getting great guidance in their school system, wonderful. That's amazing, but it is rare. So I want to kind of talk about how we, like people, older, can sort of like guide the next generation. And also so that you can kind of see for yourself, like what opportunities could I get ahead of right now that could completely change my life in 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, with AI. So it's a time of a lot of changes. A lot of this age of Aquarius is about the technological and abundance, I guess, generation. Like that's what the focus is going to be. And I think technology is going to bring us a lot of abundance. It's going to give us a lot of opportunities. And if we keep our mindset right and our vision right, you're going to be better than okay. It's going to be incredible. But I want to start out by just sharing this whole experience that we went through with this whole dual enrollment thing, because it's just been a nightmare. So, Alexis has known that she wants to do dual enrollment for a while. That's where while you're taking high school classes, you also take college classes, and they apply for both. So, the classes you take will go towards your high school diploma, and they'll also go towards an associate's degree. So, it's a great option, especially considering the first 2 years of college is pretty much a joke. They're taking classes like Intro to Humanities, they're taking an English class, a science class, like very basic classes. And so this is a way to get those out of the way ahead of time, and also not waste so much money on classes that really are pointless. So she decided she wanted to do dual enrollment. She talked to her high school counselor. He told her, to take the tests, email him when the tests come in. We did. And then we find out there is so much more that needs to be done ahead of time. And he did not prepare her for any of it. It was basically like, okay, you passed the test. Now go fill out the form of all the classes you want to take. There was no guidance whatsoever on why are you going to college? What degree do you want to get? Do you want to get a degree? What subject areas are you interested in? What potential jobs are you interested in? There was none of that. Not one single question asking, why are you doing this? What are your plans? What are your goals? Nothing. And so he was kind of just pushing us off to the college, and the college was telling us, no, you have to go and meet with your counselor to get this guidance so that we know what classes to register you in. And no one wanted to help on the college side or the high school side. It was like, you figure it out, have them figure it out. Okay, we don't want to figure it out. You do it on your own. So it's been us like figuring everything out as we go, being pushed up against deadlines. And I just thought, we are like, this is one student, but talking with her friends, people at her school, this is happening to everyone. And these kids are just not getting any guidance at all. Okay. They're told to go to college. They don't know what they want to go for, what that even means. And what's more alarming is the adults in their life don't know what that means. Okay. So the reality of what's happening with technology is that by the time most kids graduate college, their degrees are going to be outdated. I think that's already the case, especially if they're going for something like technology, because it's advancing so rapidly. These schools aren't keeping up. But pretty much any white collar job, same thing. This stuff is going to be either outdated at best or completely obsolete at worst. So you look at what's happening and what the stats are, which is that 40 to 50% of jobs are going to be impacted by AI in the next decade. It's already happening. I think it's going to happen a lot more quickly than the next decade, because when you look at how fast AI is growing, it is doubling in capacity every 6 to 12 months. So, like, if you think about how much it's grown just since we've had access to it, it's insane. But that growth is now happening every 6 to 12 months. When you hear from people like Sam Altman, he's basically saying AGI, or artificial general intelligence, is already here. We just keep changing the definition. So he says if you go off the definition that we had a few years ago, right when AI was launching, it's already there. But what happens is they keep making the definition a little different and a little different. Like they keep pushing it off. And I think that's to help calm people from panicking about that. But the reality is it's here. It's not slowing down. It's exponentially growing, and it's impacting a lot of jobs. And so what I'm seeing, looking at my daughter's course schedule, is a bunch of nonsense courses, introduction to humanities, like an art appreciation, a technology, which could be good, except it has nothing to do with AI. It's like a general technology class, and things like that, that are really just a way for these schools to make money. It has nothing to do with their career goals or what they're majoring in. It's just general classes that everyone has to take. And when you look at the average cost of a 4-year degree in the United States, you're talking anywhere from 28,000 a year, or I'm sorry, for a 4-year degree, to 150,000. Some are even more, like the Ivy League schools. It is insane. Total student loan debt in the United States has passed $1.7 trillion. Okay. Because people got loans to get a degree and they're not able to get a job with that degree. We're already seeing it. Just imagine what's going to happen in the next decade with AI. It's only going to compound the problem. So, in my opinion, I feel like college is becoming obsolete. I think when you take into effect like the student loan issue, technology, the fact that you could go and get a 4-year degree and, learn a certain subject. Let's say you're going to business school. That's what I did. You're going to get a very, very basic understanding of business, but not like running a business or entrepreneurship, like just basic, like, here's a P&L statement kind of stuff. You could go on AI and in weeks master a subject, any subject. Okay. So you can go and get the knowledge already a lot faster, a lot more efficient, and a lot more updated with AI than you can with traditional school. And so I think we're going to start seeing that become obsolete, which is why I told her, to consider doing this dual enrollment because do you really want to put all this money into something that you're probably not going to use? I know I don't use my 4-year degree. Haven't in a long time. It helped me in, you know, 2009 when I was getting out of college because we didn't have all this technology now, but it doesn't help me today, right? So that's where we're headed. So you have like this huge compounding problem where no one is giving these kids guidance, which is why you have people that it started when I graduated college. It's still going on today that went and they just got a degree and now they're out of college. They have this paper that they were promised would give them a good salary. So they took out all these loans, got into debt, and now they can't get a job, or at least not a job that is enough money to pay for all of this debt. And so what are people doing? They're side hustling. They're trying to make money online, on TikTok, on things like that. That's ridiculous. Like not trying to make extra money. It's ridiculous that, you're promised something and then, hardly anyone is getting their return on that investment. So I asked AI to highlight the industries and like the different types of roles that is going to be replaced. I mean, and this is happening already. And what's interesting is a lot of it is white collar jobs. Okay. So, like accountants, bookkeepers, paralegals, legal assistants, any type of data entry, analysts, customer support reps, journalists, copywriters, pretty much, all white collar jobs at this point are quickly becoming replaced with AI. And now ChatGPT just launched the agent mode, and the other companies are following. And this is where not only is it giving you the information, but it's actually implementing it. It's like running loose on the internet and doing things for you. So that right there is the thing, those agents are the things that are replacing a lot of these types of jobs. So then you even look at like the creative field, right? We're seeing, I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Spotify, this was like a couple weeks ago, the top highlighted band or group or whatever you want to call it for music was 100% AI generated. It's an AI generated photo, AI generated music. Now, I don't know if Spotify knew that and is just getting on trend. I don't know the backstory of it, but it's here. It's happening. It's composing music. It's creating photos. It's creating video. And it's still in its infancy, but it's getting increasingly better. And like I said, it's doubling what it can do every 6 to 12 months, although I've heard as early as 4 months with some models. And then, you look at like middle managers, right? That's all going to be gone because think about it. What does a middle manager do? They keep an eye, they supervise the people below them, and then they like bubble up that information to leadership. Well, when you have AI that can analyze at such incredible detail what people are doing and create these reports for leadership, are they going to need middle managers? No. And the other thing that's really sad is coders. Any type of coders, developers, they're all out the window because these AIs are not only can they code, but they're learning how to code and outpace what we can keep up with. So, like in my generation, it was like, oh, if you want to really get ahead of the game and be successful, get into coding. And now those jobs are like all becoming, obsolete. Any type of financial analyst, market researcher. Now we're seeing a lot of automation, even in like retail and fast food. So it's just taking over, right? So here's the areas where it's not taking over, at least not yet, where I am trying to give my daughter guidance. And I think this is great guidance for anyone out there listening. It's not the end all be all, like do your own research. This is just what I'm noticing. So, entrepreneurship, you cannot go wrong. And what I mean with entrepreneurship is setting your kids up with that mindset. Okay. So, entrepreneurship, a mindset of an entrepreneur is vastly different from the mindset that you get going to college. If you're going to college, you are going with the goal of getting a job and working for someone else. You're trading your time for dollars, your skills for dollars, right? Entrepreneurship is completely different. That is looking for a gap in the market and filling that gap. It has nothing to do with trading time for dollars. It's getting creative. It's coming up with solutions that help people solve problems. Very different mindset. You can start entrepreneurship right away. You don't need a degree. You don't need anything. You can start, with anything that you're interested in. And again, with AI, it's really helping entrepreneurs, business owners, with anything that is not their strength. So for me, I do not like paying attention to details. I hate analyzing reports, stats, numbers, can't stand it. Well, I don't need to because I've got an AI agent that can go and do all that for me and then dumb it down for me and say, hey, this is what's not working. This is what is. Here's what you need to fix. So I think entrepreneurship, it's always been around. It will always be around because you have control. You're not waiting for your company to adapt your job. You are the company. You're able to adapt to the market and the trends and the gaps in the market and things like that. Anything that has to do with emotional intelligence and empathy can be like those are skills that I would definitely recommend that everybody work on, because these AI, like, they are really good at helping you feel better. If you've played around with any of like the GPTs, they're really good at talking to people and telling you what you want to hear. But I think that that's a skill that no matter how good AI gets, I think we're going to be in a world where people are yearning for that human to human connection. People are going to be looking for normalcy, for flaws, for humans, just real people. And so I think the empathy, the compassion, the emotions that only humans have, that is going to be a strength. Critical thinking and adaptability. So, again, this goes along with entrepreneurship. You have to be able to think for yourself. You have to. And you have to be able to adapt easily and shift and pivot. And so, if we can start teaching kids this at a young age, they're going to be so much more resourceful with this technology and be able to adapt and use it to their advantage versus falling behind and waiting for someone to give them the answer. Communication and public speaking. Those are skills that, again, I think we're going to be yearning for that. I think there's going to be a point where we're going to want to see more real people and less AI generated stuff. So those are kind of like the things that I would, the skills that I would try to focus on and develop: entrepreneurship, emotional intelligence, empathy, critical thinking, adaptability, um, creativity. I mean, even though AI is making waves with the creative world, this is something that is going to help you tap into the right hemisphere of your brain, which is connected to your intuition, manifesting, your imagination. And I think we get a lot of the left hemisphere brain stuff through schooling. So bring in the right hemisphere, and you do that by doing something creative. Okay, and then all of the hands-on stuff. So it's the blue collar jobs, it's the trades that for now, until we get robots, are a lot more stable. So HVAC, plumbing, electrical, um, anything like that. What we're seeing is there's a whole bunch of people that are getting ready to retire. They're at all the boomers like that are at retirement age. What's happening is a lot of them, their kids don't want to take over their business because it's my generation that went to college and we have degrees and jobs and whatever. And so you see all these people retiring and no one to fill their shoes. And when you look at how many people are in trade school, there's going to be a really big gap when these guys retire and there's not enough plumbers and HVAC people. So that is a huge, huge opportunity, any type of trade. And not only is it like a trade you can do, but if you have that entrepreneurship mindset, you go into that trade to build a business. So, growing up, like all of my dad's friends that did that are now retiring multimillionaires because they're selling their businesses. And that's another opportunity. People are picking up businesses like this that their kids don't want it. So they're buying the business and knowing that this is going to be really, really, really high in demand. So anyhow, like that is definitely something that I would be talking to kids about. And the what they're making is going to go drastically up because of supply and demand. When you don't have as many plumbers, you're going to be willing to pay more. There's not going to be enough to go around to everyone, right? So they're going to be able to charge top dollar. Okay. And then learning AI. Like, this is why I'm so passionate. Well, I'm just passionate about it because I'm passionate about it. But instead of like fearing AI and like focusing on how, like, oh my God, it's going to take over everything, learn it. Learn how to use the tools. If you can learn how to use the tools and you stay on top of this stuff and you grow and you adapt, there's going to continue to be opportunities with that. So that's what I would recommend for anyone listening, regardless of age and regardless of skills. So I think there's this perception that if I'm going to get into I have to be tech savvy, I have to know how to code. No, you don't. No, you don't. Those days are gone because the AI can do all of that. You're learning how to prompt the AI, how to work with the AI. How can I take this intelligent thing that has access to all the information in the world and use it to solve a problem that people have, right? It's like that adaptability, those entrepreneurship skills, those problem solving and critical thinking skills. Like any type of, app development, gaming development, online entrepreneurship. Like, I know no parent is sitting there saying like, "Oh, I wish my kid would become a YouTuber or a TikTok influencer." However, like I said, those people are doing really successful because we're already getting there where we just want the realness, right? And I think that's only going to progress that trend where you want to just connect with real people. And so that's why you see so many people that are really young making a ton of money. And it's not that they're more skilled than anyone else, they're just allowing themselves to show up authentically, and they're connecting with people. So anything like that. The other thing, and I don't know where this is going to go, to be honest with you, but for right now, when you look at like digital marketing and branding, because this is a problem that I'm having with my business, AI is great at coming up with content that's going to help you on your sales page, like putting words together, putting emails together. In my opinion, right now it sucks when it comes to like branding and design and making it look a certain way. So I think there's still some opportunity there. And then there's all this Web3 blockchain stuff that I don't even understand, but I know that is a big evolving field. So that's kind of the direction where I see things headed. And I think rather than building a resume where, like, I got this degree and I worked for this company, people are going to be looking for what projects did you work? What did you create? They're going to look more for like a portfolio of how you used AI, how you fulfilled a need out there or solved a problem. How they're gonna want you to demonstrate your critical thinking skills, your adaptability. And so I think we're going to see a big shift from like, oh, I've got the paper, I've got the degree, to like, that doesn't matter. Tell me like how well you can perform, you know, in this job that's continually changing because of AI. And you see a lot of the big tech companies are leading the way where they are not hiring people with degrees. They're actively looking for high school students that are a little tech savvy that they can take on and train, because what they're finding is these kids are graduating from college, and everything they learned in college, they now have to unlearn because it's outdated. They're using old tools that like don't exist. So, you're in a 4-year degree and you've got technology doubling every 6 months. It's going to be obsolete. So, I just wanted to like put this out there. I guess it's like a public service announcement that the world is changing, and it's both exciting and scary, like always. But again, if instead of focusing on the fear, if you can get ahead of it and look at the opportunity for yourself, for the young people in your life, and just give a little bit of guidance as well, it can really make a huge difference. And it can save people a lot of money, a lot of debt, and a lot of time if they just start to question, like, what is my ultimate goal? Why am I going to get this 4-year degree? Am I going so that I could get a job? Okay, well, what job do I want? And is that job still going to be here? Number one. Is it going to require a degree? Number two. And is there a more efficient way down that path? So I heard this financial planner the other day say this, and I loved it. We're going to get a little into like money mindset as well. But he was answering some guy's question. This guy said, "My teenager has no interest in going to college. What kind of guidance can I give them? Because I want them to be successful in life and make a good living. So what do I do?" And this guy had like the best advice that I think I've heard yet, where he said, "Okay, as soon as he's 18, have them get a full-time job. And it's going to be a low-paying entry-level job, probably, which is fine, but have them get a full-time job." So he used the example, like, let's say they get a job that's paying $35,000 a year, which is like, a typical entry-level type of job. From 18 to 21, have them live at home and don't change anything. So you're still going to be the parent paying their bills for those 3 years. You're not charging them rent, not like charging them, they don't have to pay an electric bill, a water bill, that kind of thing. Like, you're supporting them. And he said, go ahead and of that 30,000, let them take like 5 to 10,000 to use, to go buy stuff, have fun, enjoy life, whatever. and all the rest of that income put into a market like the S&P. Like just follow the S&P, and it doesn't really matter, but put that in the market. And what he said was at the end of it, at the end of those 3 years, first of all, if you keep that money in the market and you just don't touch it, by the time they retire someday, that will turn into millions. I think he said like 3 to 5 million. I don't remember the exact number, but with compound interest, it would turn into millions if you just leave it and don't touch it. So that's like best case scenario. Now they have a steady retirement that they've already built from working 3 years. So that takes so much pressure off of someone because your retirement is set and now you just need to like pay for, the cost of living, the cost of life, and you don't have 6 figures of college debt weighing you down. So that was like the best scenario. And he said, worst case scenario, let's say at the end of that 3 years, they decide that they want to take that money out. They could go buy a house with that money. That is a huge down payment now that they can use for a house so they can be a homeowner without acquiring any of this 6 figure college debt. They can buy a home, have a good down payment, and probably, the mortgage is going to be significantly less than renting anyways. So either way, like I thought that was genius, thought it was really smart, and something we never hear about. No one is giving kids guidance other than go get a degree. What degree? I don't know. Just go get a degree. Like that is still the message that we are sending them. And there's a lot of other opportunities out there that I think are bigger opportunities that we're completely missing. So that's my case after going through, you know, all of this and just realizing like the guidance is just, it's horrendous. It's not there. No one's helping these kids really figure it out. And I think that we could do a lot better. The other thing that I will recommend for anyone listening, even for, high school students, college students, if you want to build those entrepreneurship skills, I have Freedom Tribe, which is like, that is basically my entry to entrepreneurship. You basically get my strategy, my system that you can copy and duplicate like in your own business, but you also get the mindset piece. So you get the entrepreneurial mindset, the money mindset that you have to have in order to run a successful business. So I have that program right now. If anyone's interested, you can go to the lawofattractiontribe.com/freedom dash tribe. I will link that in the show notes. You can also just go to lawofattractiontribe.com and you'll kind of see everything there. The other thing that I'm working on a few things right now. Number one, I told my daughter we need to build a GPT that is going to help like with this whole situation, help guide kids. Because what they have now and these like quizzes you can take to figure out your career path are complete garbage. They are so outdated, it's not even funny. So that'll be coming very soon. It may even be out already by the time this episode airs. I don't know. But if it is, I'll link it in the show notes. You can check lawofattractiontribe.com. And then I also have the Nova GPT, which is my manifestation AI. And this is where you can start playing around with it and it's going to blow your mind and it's going to help you, first of all, overcome like any limiting belief. It is insane how effective it is. It has these like belief buster sessions where in one session you completely destroy a belief that has been holding you back from manifesting. And it gives so much concrete evidence and proof for your subconscious. You just make tremendous leaps in a very short amount of time. It's so efficient with that. It can help you get clear on your purpose. It can help you anytime throughout the day. So I have like a morning manifestation boost. It's less than 5 minutes and it's going to set the tone for the rest of the day. I have an evening quantum shift ritual in there. It's going to help you right before you go to sleep. So as you're dreaming, your subconscious is focused on getting to the next level instead of focusing on all the negative things that happen throughout the day. And what's cool is it's customized to every single individual and it changes every day. So your morning boost today is going to be different from your morning boost tomorrow. So it's just this really cool evolving thing that has completely up leveled my manifestation practice and I think is just changing the entire manifestation field. So you can get that at the lawofattractiontribe.com as well. I'll link all this stuff below. Check it out. But I hope this helps. And I hope my goal of this episode isn't to worry anybody or like make anyone think, we're screwed because of AI. It's just we need to start changing the way that we're thinking and we need to question these dinosaur systems like the school system and the whole idea of getting a degree just for the sake of getting a degree. Obviously, if you want to be a doctor, you need to go to school for that. But I think for everyone to just blanketly get this advice is not helpful. And I think we really need to step it up and start questioning things and guiding these young people that are just completely lost and they're looking for answers and no one's stepping in to give it to them. So, anyhow, that's my 2 cents on all of this. I'll keep you posted on all the interesting things coming with AI that I'm working on, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in.